We're going to start by talking about AlexMath. Anyone in here familiar with AlexMath? Okay. If your child is third through fifth grade, they should be familiar with AlexMath. And so this is something that your teacher is probably having the math student do on a regular basis, a number of times a week. We actually have a designated time each day for them to work a bit on it. But we wanted to explain to parents really what it is, just give a quick snapshot. So, if you choose to do so, you can implement this into some practice routine at home. If they go to Google, just type in Alex, make a note that this is KS, not an X, they should have login information. If you or they are unaware of that login information, make sure you have them ask the teacher, or you can email your teacher, or however you want to get a hold of it. But they've been using it since the beginning of the year, so this should be something that they're going to have. Real quick, AlexMath is basically online, individualized learning. And so this is something that they can access from anywhere, and it's going to basically work with them, work with their skills, work with their strengths and weaknesses, to either help to get them on level, boost them up if math isn't really their thing, if it's not their strong suit, or it's going to help challenge them and promote them to be able to move forward and be exposed to higher level concepts. And so when they log on, now this is Ms. Altman's site, slightly different, but the one thing that is the same, when they log on, you're going to see this pie. They call it the Alex pie. This consists of a bunch of different colored pieces. If you see what she's scrolling over, it's showing you a lot of different math concepts. And this is for fifth grade. It might vary a little bit based upon the grade level, but it's going to be a lot of different concepts. Now, how far the pie color extends is how far they have gotten on mastery of that particular topic. So if you'll notice, place value, review of arithmetic, yellow, pretty much every student is going to be way up there because that's the foundational information for math. Everything else you're going to kind of see, is going to get some growth. You're also going to see a percent. The percent is mastery for that particular grade level. The goal is to have students at grade level mastery by the end of the year, but 50% by Christmas break. And so you can kind of get an idea of where your student falls with that, where your child falls with that if you have them log on and you can quickly see that. What happens is, as they go through, they can select their own topics. I recommend having them select topics that the pie colors are lower. Once they select topics, they're going to go through and they're going to be given a set of problems. Once they complete that set of problems, if they do well on it, if it's not an issue, if multiplication is their strong suit and that's what they're working on, it's going to continue moving them forward and you're going to continue to see this percentage growth. If they struggle, if this is a concept that they are struggling with, it is going to give them basically a little tutorial where it's going to stop them, it's going to pause them and say, hey, wait a minute, let's practice some of this. This is how it's done. It's going to give them a numerical explanation and it's going to give them a written word explanation as well. Once they've said, okay, I got it, they're going to be able to move on and then it's going to, again, determine, okay, do you have this? Now, as teachers, and you as the parent, this is the type of thing we can monitor. And we can say, okay, I've got these three students over here who are struggling with multiplication of decimals. So what I'm going to need to do is maybe I'll pull a small group, maybe I will work with students individually. I like the more individualized approach because of the variation of needs and percentages and the fact that in some of our classes, students are all over the place with where they're at. At home, you can take a look at it and you can say, all right, well, if math is something you are comfortable with, you can assist them as well. But like I said, oftentimes it's not even necessary because of the information and the little written tutorials that the site itself provides. Once they reach 85%, you can see here we got 47. Once they reach 85%, we go ahead and boost them to the next grade level. The reason it's 85% and not 100 is because it has shown that roughly the last 15% of a grade level is going ahead and providing them with content from that next grade level. And so what will happen is they will go ahead and get boosted to 85%. They will take a pretest. That pretest will set them then for the next grade level. So I had a student today who took the 6th grade pretest, and they're doing really well, they're excelling on this. They took the 6th grade pretest and they are about 45% in 6th grade. So what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and provide them with exposure. That's really the word we're always saying. The more exposure, especially with mathematical concepts, the better. It's going to provide them that exposure and they can go ahead and continue to work themselves up. For a student who may be struggling, it's also going to provide them with that exposure. And it's going to give them, hopefully, just an added boost. You know, we don't pretend this is the end-all, be-all, but it's going to just be another tool to not only address their needs, but to monitor their success, monitor those needs as they move forward, which is really going to give them the ability to do this. It's going to help you at home. No, you know, I don't think any teacher, at least us, we're not going to mandate it at home. We're not going to keep a checklist, but we will highly recommend it. Whatever they do at home will count for this. They will be able to do this. The percentage will increase as they go along, and it's going to be something that will count for this. When you have parent-teacher conferences, if for whatever reason the teacher neglects to bring this up, they're crunched on time or whatever, ask them about Alex if you have questions. Now maybe you go home and you look at it and you're like, yeah, I got it. You know, we'll do this. But ask them questions if there's some confusion, if you're still unfamiliar with how this works. The teacher will be willing to share that information with you if necessary.